The Qur'an, which was revealed 14 centuries ago, mentioned facts only recently discovered or proven by scientists. This proves that without doubt that the Qur'an must be the literal word of Allah, revealed by Him to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the Holy Qur'an, Allah speaks about the stages of man's embryonic development.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين.
Literally, the Arabic word alaqa has three meanings. First, leech. Second, suspended things. And third, blood clot. Also, the embryo at this stage obtains nourishment from the blood of the mother similar to the leech, which feeds on the blood of others. The second meaning of the word alaqa is suspended things. This is the suspension of the embryo during the alaqa stage in the womb of the mother. The third meaning of the word alaqa is blood clot. We find that the external appearance of the embryo and its sacs during the alaqa stage is similar to that of a blood clot. This is due to the presence of relatively large amounts of blood present in the embryo during this stage. Also, during this stage, the blood in the embryo does not circulate until the end of the third week. Thus, the embryo at this stage is like a clot of blood.
So the three meanings of the word alaqa correspond accurately to the descriptions of the embryo at the alaqa stage. The next stage mentioned in the verse is the mudgha stage. The Arabic word mudgha means chewed substance. If one were to take a piece of gum and chew it in his or her mouth and then compare it with the embryo at the mudgha stage, we would conclude that the embryo at the mudgha stage acquires the appearance of a chewed substance. This is because of the somites at the back of the embryo that somewhat resemble teeth marks in a chewed substance. How could Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have possibly known all this 1400 years ago when scientists have only recently discovered this using advanced equipment and powerful microscopes which did not exist at the time? This is how the Qur'an has described the mountains. Allah has said in the Qur'an,
أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا.
Modern earth sciences have proven that mountains have deep roots under the surface of the ground, and that these roots can reach several times their elevations above the surface of the ground. So the most suitable word to describe mountains on the basis of this information is the word peg, since most of a properly set peg is hidden under the surface of the ground. The history of science tells us that the theory of mountains having deep roots was introduced only in the latter half of the 19th century. Mountains also play an important role in stabilizing the crust of the earth. They hinder the shaking of the earth. Allah has said in the Qur'an,
وألقى في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بكم وأنهارا وسبلا لعلكم تهتدون.
Likewise, the modern theory of plate tectonics holds that mountains work as stabilizers for the earth. This knowledge about the role of mountains as stabilizers for the earth has just begun to be understood in the framework of plate tectonics since the late 1960s. The science of modern cosmology, observational and theoretical, clearly indicates that, at one point in time, the whole universe was nothing but a cloud of smoke, i.e. an opaque, highly dense, and hot gaseous composition. This is one of the undisputed principles of standard modern cosmology. Scientists now can observe new stars forming out of the remnants of that smoke. The illuminating stars we see at night were, just as was the whole universe, in that smoke material. Allah has said in the Qur'an,
ثم استوى إلى السماء وهي دخان فقال لها وللأرض ائتيا طوعا أو كرها قالتا أتينا طائعين.
Earth in the heavens above, the sun, the moon, stars, planets, galaxies, etc. have been formed from the same smoke. We conclude that the earth and the heavens were one connected entity. Then out of this homogeneous smoke they formed and separated from each other. Allah has said in the Qur'an,
أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون.
Allah has said in the Quran,
أو كظلمات في بحر اللجي يغشاه موج من فوقه موج من فوقه سحاب ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور.
This verse mentions the darkness found in deep seas and oceans, where if a man stretches out his hand he cannot see it. The darkness in deep seas and oceans is found around a depth of 200 meters and below. At this depth there is almost no light. Below a depth of 1,000 meters there is no light at all. Human beings are not able to dive more than 40 meters without the aid of submarines or special equipment. Human beings cannot survive unaided in the deep dark part of the oceans, such as at the depth of 200 meters. Scientists have recently discovered this darkness by means of special equipment and submarines that have enabled them to dive in the depths of the oceans.
We can also understand from the following sentences in the previous verse, in a deep sea it is covered by waves, above which are waves, above which are clouds, that the deep waters of seas and oceans are covered by waves, and above these waves are other waves. It is clear that the second set of waves are the surface waves that we see, because the verse mentions that above the second waves there are clouds. But what of the first waves? Scientists have recently discovered that there are internal waves which occur on density interfaces between layers of different densities. The internal waves cover the deep waters of seas and oceans because the deep waters have a higher density than the waters above them. Internal waves act like surface waves. They can also break, just like surface waves. Internal waves cannot be seen by the human eye, but they can be detected by studying temperature or salinity changes at a given location.
سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق أولم يكف بربك أنه على كل شيء شهيد.